And in their complaint, Diddy's attorneys were saying that NBC Universal made the assumption that their client has committed numerous heinous crimes, including serial murder, R of minors, and S trafficking of minors.
This is the first time that I'm speaking about it. It's something that I'll never forget.
Why would a top-tier attorney suddenly walk away from one of the biggest celebrity trials of the decade? That's the question on everyone's mind after Anthony Rico, a seasoned lawyer known for taking on high-profile and controversial cases, abruptly withdrew from Diddy's defense, just months before trial. Rico isn't some rookie who got cold feet, he's a veteran of the legal world. So, what could make him step away from such a major case? The speculation is running wild. Was it a conflict of interest? A deeper issue behind the scenes? One thing's for sure, the tea is hot, and the mystery is even hotter. As the trial looms, everyone is left wondering, what really made Rico walk away?
Potentially, it could be a conflict with the client, right? A disagreement. They just don't get along. The communication is poor. They don't agree on defense strategy. It could be a conflict with one of the other lawyers. Obviously, it seems like Agnifilo is the lead on this case, although Rico was certainly his 1B.
For those unfamiliar, Anthony Rico isn't just any lawyer. He's a seasoned pro with a track record of defending clients facing some of the most shocking allegations in modern history. He's represented individuals tied to high-profile cases, including associates of Osama bin Laden. In one case, Rico's legal expertise helped a bin Laden associate escape the death penalty, securing a life sentence instead. That's the level of skill he brings. He's not just a lawyer, he's a legal heavyweight who knows how to navigate the toughest cases. So when someone like Rico suddenly withdraws from defending Sean Combs, stating he can no longer effectively represent him, it raises serious questions. What's really going on behind the scenes?
Obviously, there's other lawyers on the case. Obviously, a lot of the victims are female. They're going to want female lawyers on the defense team, especially during some of the aggressive cross-examination. That tends to be the conventional wisdom when you're dealing with victims who are alleged victims of assault or abuse. And then it could be a conflict with one of the victims themselves. Maybe maybe Rico consulted with them or even represented.
Rico's sudden exit has everyone talking, legal analysts, celebrity gossip fans, and casual observers alike. The big question, why now? With Diddy's trial just around the corner, the timing couldn't be more suspicious. Rico's departure comes when the stakes are at their highest, yet he's staying tight-lipped. In his motion to withdraw, he cited attorney-client privilege, meaning he legally can't, or won't, explain why he's stepping away. In true dramatic fashion, he told the court, respectfully but regrettably, he must withdraw. Translation: I'm out, and I'm not explaining myself. So, what's really going on behind the scenes?
Well, when you withdraw, really, you still need to protect the client and the confidences, so you don't want to say something that may jeopardize him or the case. And you also need leave or permission of the judge. So you want to provide enough so the judge knows that you're not leaving the client high and dry, but you don't want to provide too much that may compromise defense strategy or a weakness in the case or some other issue that would hurt.
Here's where it gets even juicier. Rico made it clear his decision to walk away isn't about lack of preparation or competence. He assured the court that his withdrawal wouldn't delay the trial, emphasizing that Diddy still has 5 other lawyers on his defense team. But let's be real, losing someone of Rico's caliber is bound to shake things up. The fact that he chose to step away so close to trial raises serious questions. Did he see something in the case that made him say, nope, not worth it? Rico has defended hardened criminals, people tied to international scandals, and cases far more shocking than Diddy's. If he could handle those, what could possibly make him turn his back on this one? Some speculate it's not about the allegations themselves, but what's in the discovery, the evidence and documents both sides review before trial. Rumors are swirling that Rico took one look at those papers and decided he wanted no part of it. One source even claimed his decision wasn't about money or competence, it was about self-preservation. Think about that. If someone as experienced as Rico feared staying on this case could harm him, what does that say about what's coming in court?
I think it has to be the defense, the consent, because, look, sometimes you can argue that the activity never happened, right? It wasn't me, defense. But this is not your typical assault case. There are a lot of people there, right? There are people that are arranging the workers. There are people that are setting up lights and cameras, booking hotel rooms. Obviously, Diddy has a large on.
Let's not forget the optics. Rico's departure is a PR disaster for Diddy. With serious allegations swirling and a trial that could put him behind bars for life, losing a high-profile lawyer like Rico isn't just a legal blow, it sends a message. It screams, something isn't right here, and the public is picking up on it. Social media is on fire with theories, and everyone has an opinion on why Rico bailed. Some are even joking that he must have seen something so shocking in the case files that he decided his career, and maybe even his reputation, wasn't worth the risk.
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
yes,
new.
There already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
Rico's departure isn't happening in a vacuum. Diddy's legal team has been under scrutiny since his arrest. Shortly after, he strengthened his defense by adding powerhouse attorneys Mark and Tanny Gagos, both known for winning high-profile celebrity cases. Yet, despite this star-studded team, Rico's exit raises serious questions. It's like losing a key player right before the championship game. Sure, the team can still play, but will they be as effective? With Rico gone, doubts are growing about just how solid Diddy's defense really is.
I thought Diddy would be throwing all his celebrity mates under the bus.
I mean, that could potentially be coming when it's time for court and when it's time for him to testify. But what we're seeing right now is how important public relations really are to Sean Combs. He's desperately trying to control the narrative behind bars, allowing his attorneys to do documentaries.
What's really turning heads is the way Rico chose to leave. No dramatic press conference, no public statement, just a quiet motion filed with the court, leaving everyone to speculate. While he didn't offer specifics, he did drop one cryptic line: "There are sufficient reasons related to the protections afforded by client privilege for brevity in my application for withdrawal." Translation? Whatever's happening behind the scenes is so sensitive that Rico can't even hint at it without risking the case, or himself. The timing of his withdrawal is only fueling more speculation. Some insiders believe the case is far more complex than it appears, with layers of allegations and evidence that could make even the most seasoned lawyers think twice. Others point to the sheer number of lawsuits Diddy is facing as a potential factor. Beyond the criminal charges, Diddy is battling over 30 civil lawsuits. Yes, 30. And these aren't just about money, they paint a picture of a man accused of using his power and influence to manipulate and control others. So, did Rico feel overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of it all? Or did he see something that made him question whether he could, in good conscience, continue representing his client?
Well, first of all, I can only imagine how sloppy Sean Combs was with evidence when he got busted with those 2 machine guns or 3 machine guns with the altered serial numbers. So I really don't trust Sean Combs or the people around him's ability to properly cover up anything. So I envision that you're going to see a trial, payments from his Amex for flights for people, straight payments directly from his company to people.
Rico's exit raises big questions about Diddy's trial. His remaining lawyers must pick up the slack, but can they do so effectively? And what about the jury? Losing a lawyer of Rico's stature could make jurors question why he walked away, potentially shaping how they view the case. It's a risky move with serious consequences, one that could impact not just the defense strategy, but the entire trial's outcome.
Now, this particular defense attorney's reason for quitting wasn't really a reason at all, making his departure a lot more puzzling.
As the trial approaches, one thing is clear: Rico's departure has only deepened the intrigue surrounding this explosive case. Whether it signals trouble within Diddy's legal team or highlights the immense challenges they're facing, this trial is shaping up to be one for the history books. With so many unanswered questions, all eyes will be on the courtroom to see how it unfolds. But here's where the plot thickens: Diddy's legal troubles aren't just his own. Rumors are swirling that his sons might be tangled in the drama, raising questions about whether their actions played a role in Rico's sudden exit. Family dynamics are always complicated, but in a high-stakes trial, internal chaos is the last thing you need. Yet, that's exactly what seems to be happening, adding even more uncertainty to an already messy situation.
Because my next guest just testified before a federal grand jury. He says he was in possession of a trove of digital evidence from Diddy's freak-offs and
First,
parties.
there's Justin Combs, Diddy's oldest son. Known for keeping a low profile, Justin has recently been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. While Diddy was behind bars, reports claim Justin was throwing wild house parties, massive, out-of-control gatherings that left rental properties in ruins. Landlords have come forward, saying Justin promised small, private events, only for hundreds of people to show up and wreak havoc. One source described the aftermath as a tornado, broken furniture, trashed walls, total destruction. And here's the kicker, these parties were happening while Diddy was already under intense public scrutiny. It's as if Justin didn't get the memo, or worse, didn't care, adding yet another layer of chaos to an already messy situation.
Good morning, Michael. At this point, we've all probably heard about these infamous parties. Diddy's assistant now giving us details about what he says were called Wild King Nights.
What makes Justin's behavior even more baffling is that he's no stranger to high-profile scrutiny. Growing up as Diddy's son, he's had a front-row seat to the fallout that even the smallest misstep can cause. You'd think witnessing his father face decades of lawsuits and controversy would make him more cautious, but instead, he seems to be doubling down. Some insiders believe Justin's actions are a form of rebellion, a way to carve out his own identity outside of Diddy's shadow. But rebellion or not, the timing couldn't be worse, adding yet another layer of drama to an already chaotic situation.
That's where Diddy has been for months now, but last week he was taken to the hospital. According to reports from the New York Post, Diddy was transported from MDC in the cover of darkness at about 10 p.m. on January 30th. He was taken to a Brooklyn hospital for an MRI after reporting issues with his knee.
What's even more surprising is how Justin's parties have allegedly drawn in other high-profile names, turning them into mini celebrity scandals of their own. Rumors suggest that attendees have included social media influencers, rising artists, and even well-known athletes. While no one is directly blaming Justin for everything that happens at these gatherings, the fact that they're happening under his watch makes it nearly impossible for him to escape scrutiny. One anonymous insider described the parties as a disaster waiting to happen, citing everything from property damage to serious security concerns. Landlords are furious, and Justin's growing legal troubles have only added to the mounting issues surrounding the Combs family. But here's where things take an even darker turn. Word on the street is that one of these parties ended with an altercation serious enough to require police intervention. Details are still murky, but witnesses claim tensions escalated over a dispute about who was allowed on the property. Some say it was a simple misunderstanding, others suggest it was more serious. Either way, it only adds fuel to the fire, making Justin look less like an innocent partygoer and more like someone contributing to the chaos. And while he hasn't been officially tied to any wrongdoing in this incident, the optics are terrible. If you're Diddy, sitting in a detention center watching this unfold, you've got to be shaking your head.
Live, a judge has denied bail for Sean Diddy Combs. Of course, this was the hip-hop mogul's latest bid for freedom as he remains in federal jail for his racketeering and sex trafficking case.
But it doesn't stop there. Justin recently landed in legal trouble after being denied bail for his role in these alleged antics. The court wasn't convinced he had learned his lesson or that he wouldn't throw another one of his infamous parties. And all of this is happening while his father faces the most serious trial of his life. You have to wonder how much this added stress is impacting Diddy's legal team. Could it be that Rico saw the growing chaos and decided he wanted no part of the fallout? A lawyer's job is tough enough without also managing a client's family drama.
Did he? Or didn't he? Well, if he didn't, he's got a lot to explain. Well, apparently what Diddy's done now, which is a very interesting thing, is he's on the offensive of sorts. That's right, Sean Diddy Combs has initiated a $100 million defamation lawsuit.
Then there's Christian Combs, Diddy's younger son, who's also been making headlines, and not in a good way. Known by his stage name, King Combs, Christian was recently hit with a lawsuit over an incident that allegedly took place on a yacht. According to the claims, he offered a steward a drink she suspected was tampered with, and the situation escalated into inappropriate behavior, leaving her shaken and pursuing legal action. This lawsuit came shortly after Diddy's own arrest, raising even more questions about the Combs family's growing legal troubles. Things got even messier when Rodney Diggs, the steward's lawyer, publicly called Diddy's arrest a long overdue step toward justice, hinting that more people might come forward with similar stories. With all these accusations swirling, not just against Diddy, but now his sons, it's easy to see why Rico might have reconsidered his involvement. Defending one high-profile client is tough enough, but taking on an entire family's web of scandals? That's a different challenge entirely. It's not hard to imagine someone in Rico's position thinking, I signed up to defend one person, not an entire dynasty in crisis.
This is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in the jail cell right now, I think it really underscores the magnitude of what he's facing and the weight of the federal government.
And let's talk about the social media frenzy, because wow, people are not holding back. One viral video features someone claiming to be a former friend of one of Diddy's sons, and their allegations are jaw-dropping. In the clip, they suggest that Rico's departure might be tied to damning evidence uncovered during the case's discovery phase. According to them, Rico took one look at the documents and decided he couldn't, in good conscience, stay on the case. This man don't even want to be guilty by association, they said, and honestly, that's a chilling statement. It suggests the case is so explosive that even a legal heavyweight like Rico would rather walk away than be involved.
It sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes. This was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video. So it's, to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotaping.
But here's where it gets even deeper. Some believe it's not just the allegations against Diddy and his sons that are the issue, but what those allegations could represent on a larger scale. There's growing speculation about a so-called Hollywood underbelly, with whispers that Diddy's case might expose secrets about the entertainment industry that certain people would rather keep buried. If that's true, you can see why Rico might have decided to walk away. Defending a client is one thing, but stepping into a case that could blow the lid off an entire industry? That's a whole different ballgame. Meanwhile, Diddy's legal team is pushing forward, but you have to wonder how they're managing the chaos. With 5 other attorneys still on board, they have the manpower, but do they have the focus? Losing someone like Rico is a major blow, and no matter how much they try to downplay it, the cracks are starting to show. Add to that the endless headlines about Diddy's sons, and it's clear this isn't just a legal battle, it's a full-blown media circus. And let's not forget the public's role in all this. People are following the case like it's the latest season of a reality show, dissecting every new development and speculating on what's coming next. Some are even drawing comparisons between Diddy's situation and other high-profile celebrity cases, asking questions like, is this the end of the road for him? What does this say about power and privilege in Hollywood? One thing is clear, this case is about more than just Diddy. It's about the people around him, their choices, and the ripple effect those choices are having on his fight for freedom. With Rico stepping away, it feels like we're only scratching the surface of what's really going on.
Actually thought that he was above the law, so I can only, think that, he was sloppy in the way that he did these crimes, that there's probably a trail of evidence, not only involving him, but everybody in his circle that he would, delegate these responsibilities to. And those people are when they're...
So, what do you think? Did Rico withdraw because he saw something in the case files that made him question his involvement, or is there more to the story? And how much did Diddy's son's actions play a role in all this? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more celebrity updates.